it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. So if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon now so you never miss an episode. So in today's episode, I want to answer a viewer question. I'm going to read the question out for you. So this is from someone called Mr. M. Double R, by the look of it. Nami, Namee, Mr. Nami, right? So I don't know who this is. I actually know a guy who's got a similar name to this, but I definitely don't think it's him because this person in their comment sounded much older than I would usually be interested in, and older than I would usually go for, right? So I definitely don't think it's him. It's not the way he speaks. So Mr. Nami asked me this. Hi, Sandra. Heck with the definitions. You are beautiful. We'd love to talk /see, etc. Any suggestions with a rose? This is a comment left on my castration, impotency, and circumcision video. And
Sandra, welcome back for another episode of
this video and their relationship to asexuality, which has got 7.2k views. So it's this video here that they've commented on, right? And so this is like yeah. So this is their comment, and right, so you see this person here, they have got no profile picture, and they're interested in seeing and talking to me with no profile picture. Right. So when you are dating or looking to get into a relationship, you as the person who someone might want to get into a relationship with or date, in this case, this person's interested in talking to me. So clearly like a dating type of scenario. You have to be thinking like, what are your procedures? So what do you want someone to be able to do in order to speak to you for dating, approach you for dating, approach you to talk to you because they're romantically interested in you? What's the procedures you have? What's the rules you have? What's the boundaries you have? Because if you don't have any rules, boundaries, or procedures, you don't have any standards, basically, right? And if you don't have any standards, you get anyone and everyone just jumping on the bandwagon, thinking she's fair game for anything and she'll put up with anything, or whatever, that's Elon Musk flashing up on Twitter, X. So you know what I mean? You've got to have boundaries, rules, and procedures, right? So I get a lot of guys interested in me, right? And this is a person, they only joined on the 4th of May last year, right? But they have no profile picture, right? So one of the things that's a huge red flag for anyone in terms of dating is to have no profile picture. I would say if this person, which they have, got no profile picture, it's a huge red flag for do not go near them, do not date them, do not have a relationship with them, do not talk or see them, because they're not worth my time if they can't even be bothered to show their face and who they actually are to me. I don't like people contacting me anonymous when I don't know what they look like, what their age is, what anything about them. Do you know what I mean? And they haven't even got a profile picture. That is very, very dodgy. The person could be married, the person could be in a relationship with someone, and why would I want to date a symbol? Why would I want to just be interested in talking or seeing someone who hasn't even got the decency to put their photograph on there? That's not someone who wants something real, a real connection, real relationship. And I'm only interested in real. So, and I can't believe I have to tell someone how to speak to me, how to approach me for dating. But it seems like I do because people haven't got a clue. But it's like, you're probably not going to be the right person for me. One, if you don't have a profile picture, that's a big no-no. And two is if I have to tell you what to do, like, you should be using your initiative. If you want to date me, then you should be using initiative. How do you think you date someone? How do you think you get a girl talking to you or to see you? Do you know what I mean? Not by not having a profile picture. So, if you are interested in dating someone or speaking to someone, seeing someone, you have to first of all ask yourself the intention of why you want to do that. Is it just for your own selfish means? Do you want to do that just because you're lonely, just because you find someone attractive or beautiful? but you don't want anything serious. You don't want any kind of commitment. You're not really interested in a relationship. You just want to spend some time with that person, to talk and take their time up, or see them, or kiss them, or in many cases have sex, which I'm not interested in having, right? So what's your intention for the actual connection? Why do you want to speak to that person in the first place? Because if you don't want something real, I'm not interested, right? So first of all, you should have a profile picture, right? Women who are genuine women like myself and in dating groups, they will not usually want to speak to someone who's got no profile picture, right? Because you could be talking to absolutely anyone and you don't want that. It makes you distrust a person straight off the bat. It makes you question their integrity. It makes you question their character if they can't even show their face, right? So personally, I don't want to be dating or seeing or talking to someone who can't even be bothered to show their face, because it means they want something secret with me and I'm not interested in something secret. So if that's the way you're going to approach me, forget it. I'm not interested, right? Just forget it. So you can't do anything if you're going to be like that, you know? And if you have to even have me telling you that when you're an adult, it's ridiculous, right? And the way this person says about heck, forget heck with the definitions, that is not how a young person's taught. The word heck is something like maybe a 40 or 50-year-old or older would usually speak. Like, you know what I mean? Heck with the definitions is not something a guy in his early to mid 20s who I'm interested in would be actually talking like. Heck is usually something that's used in the UK. It's usually like up north somewhere. You know, I mean, it's nice they think I'm beautiful, but so do a lot of other guys think I'm beautiful. Do you know what I mean? Like, I cannot take you seriously if you're asking, like, would love to talk, see, etc. Any suggestions? It's like, well, do you know what I mean? It's like, one, I would suggest to have a profile picture. Two, I would suggest, you know what I mean, you actually contact me. I'm not asking this person to contact me, but if someone's interested in dating me, they'd have to have a profile picture, and they'd have to have more than one profile picture. I would want to see a proper Instagram profile with their main picture on and their picture of their friends and different settings and different scenery. I'd want to see they have a history on Facebook. I want to see they have a history on Instagram. I want to see that they're a real person. You know, I'd want to see like bits of them and their friends, them and their family, them and them hanging out, you know, doing whatever. I want to see a history, right? I don't want to be seeing just one photograph because that's dodgy as shit, right? So if a guy wants to date me, he needs to have a profile, more than just a profile picture, and then lots of other different pictures, a whole history. And he needs to be saying the truth about anything and everything and be completely honest with me, because I can't stand any sort of lying whatsoever. One little lie is basically the same as 1,000 lies as far as I'm concerned, because you shouldn't be lying at all. There's no need for it, not even little lies. Not to save someone's feeling. It's not okay. That's a lie. That's deception. It's not to save their feelings. It's to manipulate them into like telling them what you think they want to hear, because you don't like the outcome of their wrath or the fact they're going to get angry and pissed off at you if they don't like your answer. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be faking stuff just to people please, to get in their good books so you look good and feel good about yourself. You know what I mean? It's crap. So anyway, you would literally approach a person. How do you think you approach the person? You approach a person either in their inbox, or you approach them by email or phone. I wouldn't usually phone the person if you're on the internet. You know, there's loads of ways you can get hold of me because I'm all over the internet. If I have to tell a guy how to connect with me on multiple platforms or different, you know, then that's just ridiculous. You know, like I'm on X, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on email, I'm on LinkedIn. Do you know what I mean? It's like you approach them in their inbox, but if you're just going to say hi, like I have guys approach me all the time. I had a guy on X, was it X? No, it was a guy on Instagram. It's still in my other messages, right? Hi. I mean, like, why are you saying hi to me? Like, what the hell does hi mean? Hi doesn't say anything. It doesn't say, hi, I'm interested in talking to you because I find you attractive. Hi, I'm interested in you. Or hi, I've seen your videos, blah, blah, blah. Hi. It's not a conversation starter, is it? Hi. It's ridiculous. And that person does have a profile picture, though. So you need to obviously be a conversationist, have good and effective communication. You need to be the type of person I'm looking for. Like a guy, ideally in his early to mid 20s, someone who's foreign. I'm not really that interested in British guys. If it was British guy was like really young, maybe 21 or something, it might be all right. But I tend to think guys maybe in their 25 bracket are more likely to understand what they want in their life. You know, and they need to be the type of guy that I'm interested in. I'm not interested in guys who are in their 40s. I'm not interested in guys who are in their 50s. Like, unless there was some guy who looked like 25 years younger or something, then I'm not interested in him. You know what I mean? It's not my type of guy. I'm an asexual cougar, younger cougar. He doesn't like sexual to kiss him, right? I like younger guys. And you know what I mean? And so ideally, it'd be good if the guy was foreign but British born. You know what I mean? I actually met a guy on Facebook dating who's Indian, British born. And we got talking. I seemed to get on well with him, but I found that I was doing more of the talking and I was sending more of the texting. You know, that's how I was talking to him more because we were doing text messaging. But I found he like didn't really want to leave Facebook dating app, which is a huge red flag to me. It's like, you know, if you're going to progress something, if you want a real friendship, even move it off the dating app. Why am I still on a dating app, right? And then, you know, and he said, "Oh, I said, what I wanted to know his intentions." He said, "Oh, friendship first before anything else, if anything else." But I stated clearly to him, I said, "I'm telling you now, just in case it does put you off, because I'd rather put you off sooner than later, is that I'm an asexual person who's not interested in sex. I have no drive for sex whatsoever. And I am a hyper romantic and hyper kisser, and I like clean shaven guys." And I said, "I'm actually beard repulsed. So I can't be kissing. I can't be that physically close to someone with a beard. I can still hold their hands basically, but I can't kiss them." You know, some guys can't hold every guy's hand that's got a beard, but I can just about hold. If it's really like it's an Indian guy and he's got a beard, I can hold his hands maybe, but I can't really kiss him. I can't kiss him like that, you know. And so it's a really big deal for me. And the guy on Facebook dating, he had facial hair, and I saw a picture of him on Instagram where he clearly liked his beard. Right? If a guy is interested in me, then he needs to either shave his beard off all the time and keep it clean shaven, or he needs to be clean shaven in the first place and just naturally like it that way, which I would much prefer. I don't really want to be with a guy who doesn't really like clean shaven look, because that type of guy will always grow a beard when he's feeling lazy, can't be bothered to cut it, or wants to look like that, basically. So he would need to be clean shaven, non-smoker, non-vapor, because I can't have that because of my chest. And he would need to approach me properly. You know, he would need to take the initiative, man up. As in, when I say man up, I don't want a toxic masculine guy. I want a healthy masculine guy. So if I say man up, it means be strong, you know, like be forthright, go and approach the girl. You know, in this case, me, go and state exactly why you're interested in that person, what your intention is, and be open, honest, clear communication. Don't be married. Don't be divorced or with kids, because I'm not interested in him. Maybe some other girls are, but I'm not interested in him being with a guy who's married, in another relationship, in an open relationship. I'm not interested in polyamorous guy. I do not want a guy to be kissing me and then having sex with another woman. It's completely out of the question for me. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in talking to a guy before my holiday. Anyway, I'm at Disneyland Paris next week and London first. So from Monday, I'm away. And all I want to do is spend the time self-dating with myself in Disneyland Paris, going to London, doing Shrek Adventureland, doing the aquarium, going to Shenyang, enjoying 5 days in Disneyland, 4 nights. I just want to enjoy myself. I don't want to be thinking about any guys whatsoever. I just want to be enjoying my life there for me. That's all I want, right? I'm not interested in being with a guy. And if there was any guy interested in me, I'm only interested in serious, committed guys who value being in a relationship more than being single, who want a serious, committed relationship, who love that, who adore it, who aspire to it. I want a guy who's got a growth mindset. This means he's into personal, professional, and self development. He wants to grow himself, he wants to change himself and develop himself into the best type of person he can be. I want a guy who sees value in being with a decent woman like me. I want to see a guy who values me as a person, who respects me, who's kind to me, who's caring towards me, empathetic, who wants to talk to me at every opportunity, not because he has to talk to me, but because he wants to talk to me. This doesn't mean to say he's talking to me every single minute of the day. That would be too much. But what I'm saying is, I would like a guy who's communicating with me every single day naturally, because he's excited to talk to me, excited to speak to me on the phone, you know, well, Facebook Messenger. He should be using Facebook because I communicate with all my friends via Facebook Messenger, and Instagram for me doesn't even work properly. So, you know, he needs to be on Facebook, have a proper Facebook profile. He'd need to be happy to be seen with an older girl who's asexual and public to the world. He'd need to be happy to be kissing me in public, happy to be seen in photographs of me all over his social media, maybe even come on this channel sometime. I do not want a secret relationship with a guy. I am not a MILF. I am not a sugar mummy. I'm not interested in any of that. I just happen to be attracted to younger guys, not for sex, because I don't have sex. I'm not interested in younger guys to mother them. If anything, I'd want them to look after me, not the other way around, right? I have fibromyalgia, which is a chronic pain condition that affects the nerves and muscle and body, and sometimes I'm in so much pain, and housework really hurts me. So I'm not interested in doing any housework, cooking or cleaning for a guy. So I don't want to do any of this. There was a guy I met in Nando's day before yesterday, right? Because I saw my dad in the hospital. I say yesterday now because it's gone over to the next day, right? And there was a guy I saw in Nando's, right? And he was a disabled guy. He was in a wheelchair, electric wheelchair, and he was foreign, and he couldn't speak very well because I found out he'd had a stroke as well. But he asked me to join him on my table. So he asked me to join him on his table, sorry. So I went across and joined him. He goes, "Oh, an angel must have sent you to me today, right?" But he started talking to me, and then he started talking about saying about about wanting a family and about kids and stuff. And I said, I'm not interested in that. So I basically think he was saying to me that he's interested in getting a wife and kids. Oh, hello, Jonathan. Nice to see you. Lots of love to you. So I think he said that he's interested in wife and kids. Bear in mind, this is a guy that's only just met me in Nando's, and he's already talking about kids and having a family and basically looking at me. And I said, I'm not interested in having kids. And he's like, why not? I said, because I've never wanted kids since I was 15 years old. Don't forget, this is a stranger. I've never met him before in my life. Because he was asking me, he said, oh, what do you do for work? And I said, I write books and help asexuals. And I'm asexual in sexual orientation. He's like, what's that? I've never heard of it. I said, asexuality is a sexual orientation that's based on the lack of sexual attraction. This means, I'm not interested in sex and I'm not sexually attracted to anyone. He goes, I don't get it. I said, well, I don't want sex. I'm not interested in that. He said, there is no life without, they said there's no life without sex. It's like having sex is no life. There's no life without sex. And I said, clearly there is, because I don't have sex and I have a good life and I like my life very much. He's like, well, why don't, and I said, I don't want marriage. I don't want kids. I don't want a family. I don't want to live with someone. He's like, why don't you like that? I said, because I don't. I like my freedom. I said, I can't go out clubbing to 2 a.m. in the morning if I've got a kid, can I? I said, I'm not physically wanting that anyway. I never have done. I said, but I don't want that type of life. I don't want a lifestyle where I'm looking after children. I said, it's not who I am. I said, I like my freedom to be able to come and go and do what I want when I want. I said, I actually live like a teenager. So if you saw my room, not that I was inviting him to my room, but that's what guys get that message sometimes. I've got Iron Man alarm clock. I've got Frozen throws, Disney throws, Star Wars throws. It's like, like a kid's bedroom, basically, like a 15-year-old. I said, I'm reprogramming my mind to be like 21 years old. And he's like, using NLP. Have you heard of that before? And he's like, no. And he goes, well, how old are you? I said, well, I don't tell people that. I said, I'm not interested in my birth certificate age. I'm only interested in my mindset age and my soul age. I said, I'm not interested in a birth certificate age. And then he was asking me, I said, so you don't have sex, but do you have sex with yourself? I said, I'm not answering that. I said, that's really personal. I don't want to answer that. He goes, I'm not asking you personal stuff. I said, well, you are, because you're asking me if I do that. I said, all I can say is some asexuals do that. And that's all I'm saying to you. And he's like, oh, I've never heard of it. I don't get it. Jonathan, teenager's bedroom is exactly the same state of my room. Oh, that's cool. I love my room. But, it's ridiculous. So I'm not interested in any guys, because I keep getting basically approached by guys. And I've been approached by this guy on YouTube, which is why Mr. Nami, who I was talking about at the beginning of here, with this question at the top, then I thought I'd specifically do a video. So any guys who want to date me in 2024, I can just send them this video because I'm fed up of going through things. And at the end of the day, if a guy does not use this initiative, he doesn't even know how to approach me and speak to me and have a profile picture, I don't really think he stands a chance of ever being with me, because it's just not the type of guy I go for. I want a guy who's got integrity, who's got responsibility, who likes responsibility. I want a guy who likes the responsibility of being in a serious, committed relationship. I want a guy who likes that, who sees it as making him a better guy, making him a better person, making him have better qualities, especially if he's with someone like me who's got a growth mindset, who's always trying to improve herself. Right? I want to be with a guy who's got growth mindset, who's always trying to improve himself. I don't want to be someone who just with someone who just sits and watches TV all the time. That's like your mind's going dead. I want a guy who's got a growth mindset, that he's working on his communication skills. He's working on his listening skills. He's working on improving understanding his woman. He's working on showing her love and affection. He's working on those self-improvement skills. I want a guy who sees commitment in a relationship as far better than being with some 15, 20, 30, 50 or whatever women and girls that he just swipes and has sex with. I want a guy who wants the responsibility of a relationship. I want the guy who's proud to be seen with me in public, proud to hold my hand in public, proud to kiss me in public, right? And doesn't give a fuck what people think, excuse my language, because, you know what I mean? That's the type of guy I need. Not this type of guy that can't even show a profile picture, that doesn't even know how to approach me. I like a guy who takes initiative, who drives a relationship forward, who drives the dating scene forward, who messages me and actually asks me on a proper date, right? It's like, what? People, guys, like a lot of these times, they don't even know how to arrange proper dates, a lot of them. It's like, what do you not understand? I'd like to take you on a date. Where's your favourite place to go or whatever? What do you like to do? I'll drive to see you. You don't have to come and see me. Set the date and time and let's get it done. You know what I mean? But first, the guy should be getting to know me via video call first. First, he should be coming in message and he should be actually able to hold long message conversations, proper conversations where he asks me questions and he shares details about himself. He asks me another question, he answers my questions and shares details about himself. This is effective communication. You ask the other person questions to take an interest in them, to get to know them. You share your own personal details, some of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your secrets. This is how you build emotional connection with someone. And then you have to respond to the person's questions as well. So if I've got questions, but the guy doesn't answer the questions, to me, that's rude. He's not listening to me, and or he doesn't want to even answer me and he wants to avoid the question. I need a guy who wants to answer and ask any single question. Nothing's off limits. He's happy to talk about anything and everything. He's got absolutely nothing to hide. I don't want to, I'm not going to be going through his phone, but I want a guy who's like fine with me seeing his phone. He can have it out on the table. I've had guys who are strangers. Like I remember having a guy who was my friend was doing karaoke at the time. There wasn't an actual guy who turned out to be asexual, wasn't suitable for me. But he was like stranger, and he said, "Oh, can you look after my phone while I go out and have a cigarette?" Obviously, I'm not interested in a guy who smokes, but I said that's fine, and he gave me his phone to look after, and I'm like, I don't even know you. You trust me with your phone, because I don't want to be going through all their messages because I don't think it's good to be going through loads of people's messages. But at the same time, I don't think it should be a guy's covering his phone up and not allowing freedom for the girl to see the photographs on his phone and stuff like that. That's dodgy, and that's keeping secrets and covering stuff up. You should be having a degree of flexibility about your phone. Like, yeah, sure, see my phone, but I don't think your partner should be going through every single message. You know what I mean? There's very different views about whether people should see each other's phones or not, but I think you should have enough trust to be able to keep it on a table or something, and to be able to, like, if a person happens to see a little bit of it, I think it's fine. But I don't think a person should be going through all your private messages because they're private, with you and your friends. So so I need a guy who's like not got secrets, and when I say not got secrets, obviously he's keeping his friends' secrets, but he's not having secret affairs with other women and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? He's open and honest all the time, effective communicator. And I want a guy with lots of kind, caring qualities, kind, caring, respectful, empathetic, sympathetic, feels my pain, is very, very in touch with his feelings, is very, very in touch with my feelings. Because when you really care about someone, if someone's in pain, then you feel their pain because you love them and care about them. I want a guy who's going to protect my heart, who's going to want to keep me safe, who's going to want to protect it from other women, not a guy who's going to be going around trying to make me jealous, trying to flirt with other women, or giving me a reason to be suspicious or jealous. I want a guy who's very boundary driven, who knows what he wants in his life, me, and who wants to spend the rest of his life with me. I want a forever guy. There's no point in me spending a lot of time, energy, and effort over a long period of time with the guy just to find out he wanted something short term or casual. There's no point. It's just a waste of my frigging time or waste of his. I do not want a guy who's wasting my time. Life is too precious. I do not want to be messed around by a guy. You know what I mean? So there has to be rules and procedures. The procedure is, and the rules is, have a profile picture, right? This is basic stuff. This is like 5-year-old stuff. Have a profile picture, and then be having a whole history across your social media. So it means on Instagram, Facebook, and wherever that person might find you. Be happy for them to see all your social media, because you should have nothing to hide. They should be able to see a history of where you've worked, a history of your school. So I would like to see a guy who's got a history of his school, his college, his university, this type of thing. He should have some sort of academic history on his profile. He should have some of where he's working currently. It should be up to date as well. He should have his exact age on there. I don't want any lies. I'm not interested in a guy who's saying he's like, for example, saying he's like 23 when really he's 25, or vice versa. I'm not interested in a guy like that. That's a lie. Even if it's 1 year's difference, it's a lie. I'm not interested in a guy who lies, right? A lot of the reason they lie is because they've changed their age when they joined Facebook. And for example, on Facebook dating, it shows the age that they registered on Facebook, even though it's a lie. And then eventually they might be like, oh, well, I did that when I was underage. I'm like, well, you're lying then, aren't you? You're doing something illegal. And you want me to trust you when you've got an illegal age on your Facebook and you think nothing of it. Right? If you want to go, if you're going to lie about one thing, could lie about anything. If you think that's irrelevant, it's not. You're not open. You're not being honest. You're not being true. You're just lying to get what you want in life. What does that say about your integrity? I want a guy who's got integrity, like I have, morals, same morals, values, beliefs. Values are very important, and morals and beliefs like that. When I say beliefs, that's a bit more debatable, but like if someone believes, for example, that there's a murderer and they think that person's really nice. I'm laughing as in a horrible laugh, a nervous laugh, I'm not interested in a person who worships murderers, right? For example, just to take an extreme example, but it has happened, this type of thing in my life, right? And I don't like that, right? So say there's someone interested in that. That is not my values. That is the opposite of my values and morals. I do not want to be associated with that person who thinks it's fine to go doing that or has that mentality. Hello, Liam. Hi, Sandra. Never dated. So yeah. It's really important that when you're dating, you're looking for qualities of a person, not just the aesthetics, right? So if you've been on my channel a while, you'll know that I like younger foreign guys in the early to mid-20s predominantly, and Indians specifically, right? And that's my top aesthetic attraction, romantic attraction, spiritual attraction, creative attraction, intelligence attraction. They're basically all my 8 asexual attractions up to them I have for Indian guys, right? But if an Indian guy's serious about me, and I shouldn't even have to tell him how to do all this stuff. He should naturally know how to approach me, what to say. He's not going to know everything because he's not a mind reader. So he's not going to know everything. But obviously, he should be using his initiative. I shouldn't have to tell him all this stuff, right? But I want to see a history of this guy. I want to see how old he is. I want to see his work history. I want to see his education history. If he's got some family members linked on his profiles, that's even better. Because I want to see he's a genuine person, and I want him to be friends with me on Facebook before I even start considering dating him. If he cannot even friend me on Facebook because he's worried about what people think and me being connected to me, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in a fake and phony guy who cannot be connected to me, who cannot tell people he's interested in me and tell the world under his proper profile, his normal name. I get a lot of Indian guys and they got 2 names. I'm like, which name are you? I'm both of them. People refer to me as both. Of course, some people have nicknames. I get that. But they're like, oh, this is 2 completely different names, like different first names and different surnames. I don't trust a guy like that. I just don't, right? It's like, and he's like, oh, I've had some other guys like, oh, well, how old are you? Well, I mean, I don't want to, I'm not going to tell someone. If I don't want to tell someone my birth certificate age, I'll say, oh, I don't want to say. I won't lie about it. But usually if someone really wants to date me, then serious relationship, that way she goes to the serious relationship stage, then, they're serious about that. Then I would tell them if we really want to know, because I think they have a right to know that. But you know what I mean? If a guy is not interested in an older girl and serious about that person, then I'm not interested in them. I like younger guys, not to mother, not to pay to have sex because I'm not interested in sex. It really insults me when I get so many guys in my inbox that are interested in me, and then I get this one guy going, "Oh, well, will you be my sugar mummy?" It's like, F off. Do I look like a mother? Do I look like I want to mother you? Do I even want kids? No, I don't want a flaming 3-year-old. You know what I mean? Like guys who like sugar mummies. I just sorry to all the sugar mummies who enjoy being sugar mummies, but I'm not interested. I'm not a sugar mummy. I'm not a MILF. I'm not a mother. I'm not interested in mummying a boy. I'm not interested in children. That's what people can't understand. That like some guys are like, oh, you must like a mother. I'm not interested in mothering the guy. In the relationship, the guy would actually be the older one. I'm looking for a guy who's got an old soul, who's got a very strong boundaries with other women. I am not interested in a guy who's fake or phony or who lets loads of women snog him and kiss him and goes, oh, well, I couldn't help it. She just came and kissed me. I'm not interested in that type of guy. You can have certain body language, and your body language just shows a person not to kiss you. If I stand like this and I'm looking like this, and a guy's approaching me, does it look like more likely it looks like I'm going to punch him, right? There's ways you can do it with your eyes, with your body language, with you turning away. You know, if a guy's like, oh, but I couldn't help it, she was just doing it to me, it's a load of rubbish. If you're that type of guy, do not approach me. You're not strong enough guy for me. I need a strong guy who knows what he wants. That's me, who's boundary driven with other women, who can tell other women if they come on to him that I'm not interested. I've got a woman right there, girl, whatever. I like to be called girl a lot of the time, but you know, and that's my girl, that's my woman, and that's what I'm interested in. I don't care if the room's full of 200 or 2,000 beautiful, gorgeous women. He would still be with me and be faithful to me because he's not interested in those type, because he knows that that is just right. Okay, he could have sex or do whatever with those women, but he knows that's not long lasting. They don't want commitment, a lot of them, and that's just like instant gratification. So I want to find a guy who's not into instant gratification. They're into playing the long game of getting a serious, committed, healthy as possible relationship, and who wants to drive the relationship forward. Not that I have to keep contacting him, that he's messaging me and he's keep asking me questions to keep the friendship, well, it should be friendship to start off with anyway, keeps the friendship going. And he's able to maintain and sustain that on a consistent basis, day in, day out. Like he messages me in the morning before work, he messages me in the night before going to sleep, messages me in the day. And he doesn't do that because he's feeling strained by it and like, oh, I can't do that. Just it's not that good. I want a guy who feels into that and who loves that. It's like, oh, I just love hearing from Sandra. Like she's my bestest friend, my soulmate. Because that's what the person should be. I have got a best friend who will always be my best friend. And whenever I meet another guy, I always say to them, like, I do have this best friend, right? We're not suitable relationship wise, but they're amazing. They help me with my housework and stuff when I'm not well and stuff like that. So I want a guy who's accepting of my other, you know, my best friend, but this person in a relationship would be a romantic best friend. And I've got to have a guy who's really romantic and who loves kissing like nearly all the time, 24/7. I have the majority of the time, but I've got to have a guy who's intellectually stimulating for me as well. So I can't have a guy who's just into kissing. He needs to be able to talk to me about anything and everything and mentally stimulate me. If I haven't got mental stimulation and all he's doing is kissing me physically, I will get bored of that, even though I love kissing so much, because I need mental stimulation. So basically I need physical kissing. Like I want a guy who likes it like a hobby, like I do, favorite hobby, especially French kissing in public too, and a guy who likes some dancing. And I want a guy who likes going to the cinema and theme parks and zoos and aquariums like I do, because that's really important. I like to do those things with him as well. I mean, there might be certain movies that I don't want to watch that he wants to watch. He can go on his own to the cinema and watch them, and I'll go and watch my own films on my own, you know. And I still like self-dating and stuff like that, but it'll be nice to like do some of the stuff that I do on a self-date with an actual partner, if you know what I mean. So I would like him to ideally be into those things, same things, so I can go with him to do these things, you know. And I want a guy who's like, if he's like 23, Indian, short dark hair, clean shaven, into IT, this is what I think my soulmate's like, and knows exactly what he wants. He needs to be an individualist, but that plays by his own rules in life, like me, who doesn't need marriage, who doesn't need kids, who's happy to live separately, but wants to move to live near me and purposely will come and move to live near me. And is happy for that. And he's like, he's happy to just for us to like see each other regularly, but also fit in our own work and life. It's really important. I need a guy who'll support me in the asexual work I do. You know what I mean? I need a guy who's fully behind me in the asexual work, who's fully supporting me, even if he's not asexual himself, you know? If he's heterosexual, he needs to be understanding about asexuality. I don't want a guy who's like, oh, what is that asexuality? Oh, well, that's your choice. You know, I get fed up with it. I had the guy on Facebook dating. It was actually a nice conversations I was having with this British born Indian guy on Facebook dating. We've parted ways now because I was talking to him and I was saying, like, I know you're saying about friendship now, but I want you to categorically know I'm not going to be interested in sex. I have no drive for sex. And, you know, if you are interested in me in the future in a relationship, more, you know, rather than friendship, I need a clean, like, I'm looking for a clean shaven guy. And he's not clean shaven. I said, you know, he's good, you know, and he said that's your choice. And I wasn't sure if he meant asexuality is my choice or if the beard thing's my choice. I said, well, asexuality isn't a choice because it's actually my sexual orientation. And I said, and beard, yes, you could say that's my choice, but I actually have beard repulsion. I don't like beards. I get repulsed by them and I can't kiss them. You deserve a loving partner, says Liam. Thank you. Lots of love to you. So I can't actually kiss a guy. I could get certain close to him, like hold his hands and stuff, but actually kissing him, and I like kissing like a favorite hobby. So I need a guy who's into kissing as much as me. I need a guy who likes a quirky girl, a guy who's individualist, a guy who doesn't be told what to do by his parents. A guy who's very set on him living his life, his way, with the girl of his dreams that he chooses. And he's happy to be seen on Instagram, Facebook. He's actually snapping pictures of himself. He's happy to be seen with an older girl. He's happy to be seen on this channel. He's just like full on into me. You know, I need a guy who's full on into me in a healthy way, not like a possessive way, unhealthy, but in a really healthy way. Like, I love spending time with Sandra. We're like bestest friends. We're really cool together. We get on really well. We have some of the same shared interests. We both support each other in each other's work. We both love spending time together. We both love dating each other. We both love like public kissing. We both love holding hands and physical, sensual contact the majority of the time. We both love hanging out together. Like, we love video calls and audio calls when we're not together. When we are together, we're like holding hands around the supermarket, and I just feel like, you know, she makes me really happy and I make her happy, you know, and he'd want to put my happiness as a priority. He'd want to make me a priority in his life. I don't have to be the only priority, but I need to be a priority. Anyone who's having a serious committed relationship needs to be making that person a priority. You know, if you've got to see your friends as well, but if you're just always putting your friends before your partner, that's not good. I need a guy who'll spend time with his friends, but also save date time for me, save seeing me. Like, you know, if his friend's like, oh, I want you to come out tonight, and it's like, well, if you'd asked me earlier in the week, maybe, but I've already scheduled to see Sandra now, so that's it. I'm not changing it because, you know, I don't let people down. I don't go, oh, to this friend, I can't see you because I'm seeing this other friend. That's the same when you're in a relationship. You don't go, oh, I'm seeing, if you've already planned to see your mates and you just say to me, I plan to see my friends on such and such a date, but you should always be leaving time for your partner as well. If I've got a guy who's working all the time, be it he's seeing his mates 5 days a week and he's got no time for me, that's useless to me. You've got to have some space in your life already allocated to the partner of your dreams. So Liam says, I hate people who say asexuality is a choice. Yeah, I don't like it either, Liam. It really pisses me off big time. I get it a lot with guys on dating, and I'm like, you just don't get it, do you? And I said to him, I do have some sexual behavior sometimes with the way I like to dance or kiss. And then he said to me, this guy on Facebook dating, that, oh, yeah, well, I think it's good to be a bit sexual, otherwise it's boring. And then I said to him, that's when I said to him, this is a British born Indian guy. I said to him, well, I don't think I'm suitable for you. I really don't think I'm suitable, because I'm thinking, if he thinks a no sex life or non-sexual life is boring, how on earth would he even be with an asexual girl or fully understand me if he thinks it's boring? He wouldn't. I mean, not that I would be boring to be with, I don't think at all. But especially if I'm kissing, if I kiss a guy a lot, he's gonna be getting dopamine hit all the time. He's gonna be stuck to the ceiling. He's gonna be that high off dopamine. Do you know what I mean? In a kissing way. Like, kissing makes you really high. If you love kissing, there are a lot of asexuals that don't like kissing or don't like much of it. But if you love kissing, it releases hormones and chemicals in your body, feel good chemicals. And one of those is usually dopamine, right? So if I'm kissing a guy, like multiple times a day for long periods of time, whatever, then he's going to feel high all the time, isn't he? It's a natural high. It's a bit like a natural drug, natural medicine. So yeah, I don't think that would be boring at all, personally. But I mean, if he's got attitude, that's why I said I don't think he'd be suitable for me. So I'm looking for a guy who appreciates the high octane, energetic kissing life. And who wants that, and who wants to be romantic, who loves holding hands, kissing and cuddling, who loves physical affection. You know, I don't like a guy where the woman's just putting her arm in, cupping her arm in the guy's arm like this. It's like, you know, you should be holding hands. You should have arms around each other, not like the man's the, like, you know what I mean? It's like kind of like the woman's got her arm around the guy, but the guy's acting all like macho, and it's like, no, you should be holding her hand, your arm around her, so it's kind of equal. Do you know what I mean? So I think equality as much as possible is important. I don't want a guy who's dominant. I'd rather have a guy who's a bit more submissive than dominant. I don't want a guy who's dominant at all. I don't like dominant guys, but I do like a guy who takes charge of a situation in terms of driving the relationship forward, driving the communication forward, making plans. I always want him to be scheduling stuff in advance with me. So we've always got date time. We've always got time spent with each other, always. I don't want to have to worry about doing that myself. I don't want to have to arrange that. I want him to already arrange that with me. So he should be able to be well organized, always fit me into his life. Every single week he should be making time for videos, audio calls, texting me. He should engage in real-time conversation with me. He should be planning dates. So ideally, I'll probably see a guy twice a week. Most of the time, maybe maximum twice a week, because maybe I could stretch to 3 times, but I need to get my work done. Guy would have to be very considerate of my work. If he wants to watch football and sport and all that, like, he'd have to go back to his place to do that. So I like quality time rather than quantity time with a guy. But I like a lot of kissing. You know, so guy have to be super romantic, super kissing, and I want a guy who actually knows what freaking hell he wants, and is very, very adamant that he's not interested in other women like that. You know, maybe he has some women friends, but that's it. But I want a guy who genuinely likes an older girl, but particularly likes me. You know, someone who's proud of that. You know, and someone who is gentle and soft and thoughtful and caring and loving and kind and generous with his time, and values my worth, appreciates me and verbalizes he appreciates me. Someone who knows that I'm the girl for him and he wouldn't want to be with anyone else. You know, no questions asked. And who protects my heart and my emotions and feelings in a healthy way. But he would still be able to have difficult conversations with me, resolve conflicts, be able to say things that I might not like to hear because I don't want him to ever lie. I want him to be completely honest, brutally honest. And, you know, that's the type of guy I need. So boundaries would be, I am not having naked sessions with you. Like, if I kiss you, it'll be with my clothes on, and I don't have guys around my flat. If I was in a serious, committed, long-term relationship and I know the guy quite a time, then he might come in my flat, or he might be kissing and cuddling on the bed. But in general, I do not have guys to my flat. So when we first would start dating or whatever, the guy would have to book into a hotel or B&B to actually be able to see me, and he'd have to be happy to drive to see me, because I don't drive, and I don't think it's right for me as a girl woman to be going up visiting him like that. Eventually we may meet in the middle somewhere like London, or go somewhere out for the day like Plymouth or somewhere like that, and maybe I do go up to him sometimes, but I would like him to be the main drive. You know, I don't drive, so I like him to drive to my home. I like, if we were in a relationship, we're not in an actual relationship and just dating, he shouldn't be coming anywhere near my home. He should always be booking into a B&B or hotel and giving me my own space, you know. And, you know, but I prefer a guy who's actually interested in a relationship, really. I'm not really that so interested in dating, but I think it's important to date first. But I want the guy to have a video date with me first before I met him in person. Then I would expect him to actually arrange a date with me and show up on time, before time, and make sure he gets where he says he's going to go, and does things. I don't mind paying for my own food and drink, right? But if a guy wants to do that as well, I'm happy for him to do that. But I don't want to be paying for his food and drink, because I either have it equal, where I don't pay for his food or drink, he doesn't pay for my food or drink, or some guys like think it's their responsibility as the guy in the relationship or dating scenario to pay for the food and drink. So if he wants to do that, I'm fine with that as well. but I don't want him. I don't want a guy coming down expecting me to pay for his food or drink or taxis or anything like that. I I don't think that's fair on me, and I don't think that's good. I like a guy who probably pays a little bit more for me, to be honest, and a guy who'll look after me, a guy who'll carry my shopping for me, a guy if I'm in trouble emotionally or I need something doing around my home, he'll just be like, I'll do that for you. You know what I mean? He doesn't hesitate. A guy who maybe has some feminine traits, but he looks like a guy still. I like a guy with a baby face, so I'm not interested in macho, muscly, manly guys with loads of hair. That doesn't appeal to me, you know. Having said that, if a guy goes to the gym for his health and he really enjoys going to the gym and he's got some muscles, you know, I can get used to that. You know, it's not the end of the world. But I like a guy to have a baby face. I do not want him to have facial hair. It's just really off-putting for me. But I like a guy, you know, who's like messaging me, like Sandra, you know, can we actually go out on a date? Like, I'd like to meet you. What's good for you? Let's arrange a time. Let's arrange a place. Let's actually meet up. Right. And then he starts holding my hand and stuff. I go on a proper date. None of this prancing around like me having to hint that I want to go on a date with him or something like that. A guy should be just driving it forward, saying, I want to meet you then. Like, if you're not well, then he would be doing video calls if I was well enough to do video calls or audio calls, or he'd just be text messaging me if I'm not well. You know, maybe he doesn't see me for weeks, but he's messaging me because he cares about me, cares about my welfare and well-being on a genuine level, doesn't want to see me hurt in emotional, physical, or mental pain. He wants me to be happy, who genuinely loves me. I'm not interested in seeing a guy in a casual hookup scenario in just a casual way. You know, it's not good for me. I want a serious committed relationship with the right guy. If it's with an Indian guy, which I hope it will be, I want him to be able to say to his mum and dad, look, I like this older girl and I want you to accept her because I love her and I'm interested in her. Or even for dating scenario, I want you to meet her and I want you to get on with her because it's important to me, right? And I don't want you to worry about her birth certificate. I just want you to care about her. And I want him to be able to say to his parents, Sandra's like an asexual entrepreneur. She does this YouTube channel. She writes books for asexual. She's really intelligent and she does a lot. She's spoken at Oxford University. She's spoken at the UK Asexuality Conference. You know, she's been on loads of podcasts and, you know, it's really nice to meet an intellectual girl like that, you know, and she knows what she wants. She's not going to mess me around like those younger girls who don't know what they want. And I feel really comfortable and confident with her. And we're really romantic together. We really love each other's company and really enjoy each other's company, you know. So, you know, and like I said, I won't be doing sex with the person. I don't want any type of sex. I don't want oral sex, anal sex, or vaginal sex. I don't want to be taking my clothes off when kissing, and I prefer a guy's hands to be around my back. I don't want a guy's hands on my bust. I don't want a guy's hands on my ass. I don't want a guy's hands going up my thighs. I want a guy's hands around my back, right? And I want him to not be touching me in sexual places unless I decide further down the line, yes, I'm okay for him to touch me down there or something like that because I like it and I'm fine with that now and we've been together for like months or something. But in general, I don't see me doing that in any rush at all. But you know, in general, I don't want to be taking my clothes off. I don't want to be showing him my top half. If he wants me to lick, kiss, and suck his nipples, then I'm happy for that. But I'm not interested in him doing that to me. Right. But you know what I mean? That's just like the way I am. And you know what I mean? I prefer a guy who has some quality friends and picky who he has as his friends. And so therefore he's picky who has as his girlfriend. I don't want a guy who's just got like 500 friends, most of whom are women on Facebook, and he's just like flirting with all of them and really over friendly with all of them. I like a guy who's more business-like with other women, more formal with other women. Maybe he's got like 80 people he's friends with on Facebook or something. He keeps a limited number, or maybe 250 or 230 or something. You know what I mean? If he's a business guy, then I can understand he's going to have a lot more business associates. But if he's just like a guy who goes to a regular job or does a job which he doesn't need to use the internet for his business, then if he's got like 200 or 30 friends or something on Facebook, that's fine. But if he's got like 1,000 and nearly all of them are women, especially if they're scantily clad women and boobs hanging out, then I would just question, like, he's probably going on the internet chatting up loads of women. I prefer a guy who's not into, you know, like looking at other women's cleavage. I prefer a guy who doesn't really have an interest in sex and nudity. I prefer a guy who's got a low sex drive or doesn't need sex or doesn't values me as a person more than the sex. And that's the most important thing to him, is being with a kind, caring, loving person like myself who's got a good heart, who will take care of his heart and emotions. So he's not going to use him or abuse him, and he's not going to emotionally destroy him. He's going to be an emotional asset to him. He's going to be lifting him up. I want us to both lift each other up. You know, like mentally and emotionally, I want us to get stronger together, to overcome challenges together as a team. I want him to be a team player and think like a team, you know? And I want him to respect my sexual, physical boundaries. Like, no putting your hands all over my chest, no putting your hands on my bum and stuff like I'm not comfortable with, no asking to see me naked and stuff like that, you know, and saying, can I see your naked chest and bits, you know? Like, I want a guy who respects me, respects my opinion, respects what I want, loves me as I am, and I don't need to change myself for him. But if I make changes in my life or for myself, to myself, that he's happy for that and accommodating. And I want him to just be the best version of himself and love himself as well as loving me and make me a priority. That's really important. Like, he can have friends. I want him to have friends, but he should always have time for me, and priorities should be introducing me to his friends, introducing me to his family, making sure I'm a big part of his life and people know it. And maybe he might have even thought one point of sex, marriage and kids, but then decided it's not for him. We'd rather have me, you know, because I'm much better option for him. I'm what he wants. I'm not just any option. I'm the one he chooses to be with, the person he chooses to be with, even if it's different to what his family have brought him up like. You know, this is the girl I choose to be with. This is the life that she wants. I want that with her, so I'm going to be with her, you know? Bonus if they like Disneyland Paris, and bonus if they like cooking and cleaning. That would be ideal, so they can take care of me in that respect, and I don't have to do cooking and cleaning for them, because I don't want to be doing cooking and cleaning. I'm going to be doing cooking and cleaning for them. But as I find those a real huge chore, and I hate them, you know. But having said that, I don't want a guy who's going to come and use pots and pans in my own kitchen and mess everything up. I don't use pots and pans. I don't have all that washing up and hassle. So yeah, a person who's going to make my life easier, not harder. A person who's going to be committed, not uncommitted. A person who sees value in commitment. A person who sees value in my worth. A person who appreciates me. A person who's always thankful and grateful for me being in his life and being with him. Who never takes me for granted. Who never thinks or believes that he can have 10,000 women and treat me like shit. Who always believes that I could actually leave him and find myself someone else, and therefore he really, you know, values my integrity, my worth, my honesty, my loyalty, my asexuality, because he sees that as a beautiful trait in me. He sees my quirkiness as a beautiful trait, loves the fact I like talking a lot, loves the fact I'm extrovert, loves the fact my personality just gets on generally really well with me, like bestest friends. Like, we take care of each other, we're super into each other, and we really like talking to each other. That type of love relationship, you know. Anyway, so for any guys who were dating about dating me, then that's really important. You know, I'm fine. I like pets. I haven't got any pets anymore, but I personally do not want someone who eats guinea pigs. There was one Indian guy I was interested in years ago, and he admitted that he ate guinea pigs. And I'm like, I don't want a guy who just eats every single animal, you know, and especially not guinea pigs, because I'm very spiritual with guinea pigs. And I used to have them as pets. So I'm not interested. I don't like guys who eat duck either. I used to have ducks as like pets on a stream, like not confined pets, but they were two wild ducks that used to come on a stream where I lived all the time every year. So they were like my pets, and I don't want that. I don't like people who eat that. It's just really off-putting. So I'd prefer not to have a guy who ate duck as well, but definitely not guinea pigs and stuff like that. It's just horrible. I prefer a guy who really loves animals. He doesn't have to be vegetarian, but who in general loves animals. It's good if he was like me, just that chicken, turkey, and fish, basically. Anyway, he would have to have integrity and loyalty, and my voice is about to go. So yeah, honesty and faithfulness is really important, and respect, mutual respect, and ability to work on the relationship together at all times as a team. Anyway, hope you found this useful, helpful insight. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode, and grab Asexual Perspectives book on Amazon, which is a bestseller. Lots of love to you. Take care, and fibromyalgia self-help handbook you can grab on Amazon too. Bye. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with anyone. If you know anyone who's like, oh, I want to date Sandra, share it. Or if you just want someone to hear what it's like to set a dating scenario or relationship up for success and happiness, make sure they go through this video. Lots of love. Bye.